have been. Yes, yes, yes. Mr. Raphael Dawkins with the Combat Radio. And today, I had to do it. I know we got Rick Glazer later, but I had to go live. I just had it. I just felt the need in my bones. So many things to talk about, so many things to get into. But right about now, the pressing issue appears to be, hold on, if I stop that, what happens there? Okay, the pressing issue appears to be, or the topic of the moment, the burning question of the moment appears to be, good. I'm now officially live. The burning question appears to be, and where's the title of this piece? Where's the title of this piece? Okay, hold on. Why can't I see it down there? Why can't I? What? Oh, yeah. Okay, I see it now. Let's do the sound check. Now's as good a time as any. I'm now officially live. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, so the burning question appears to be, is Terrence Crawford a duck? Let's write that in there so everybody knows what the topic is. Everybody knows what's going on. What's going on, Rafi? What's going on? Well. Boom. Is it there? Can you see it? Can you see it now? Is Terrence Crawford a duck? Okay. Let me turn this up a little bit. Where's the article? There's a bunch of articles. We got articles, we got audio, we got Keith Thurman implying that Terrence Spence is ducking. Who else we got? We got Sean Porter. We got audio from Sean Porter implying that Terrence Spence don't want none. We got social media implying that Terrence Spence is ducking both not only Porter, but also Thurman. And it's only right. It's only right that we get into this. And let me just get in the background. And in comes the man like John D. Lee. John D. Lee, good afternoon to you.
Afternoon, Raf. How you doing?
I'm doing good. It's a little bit hectic. It's always hectic. I don't know how come it's always hectic, but we've got the Rick Glazer later on, but I just wanted to go live ahead of that. Because this is a topic that people are saying, people are talking about. It's on social media. Articles on it. I got sound bites. I got articles. I got sound bites. I got clips. People are talking about it, so we got to talk about it, John. We got to talk about it, and I've got some receipts. For and against. And at the moment, I'm just looking for a picture, a thumbnail. So, what's your initial feelings, thoughts, observations on this topic matter?
Well, Crawford's not in a good position at the moment.
No.
So, my real opinion on it is he needs to find a way to get out of that contract with Bob and go over to the PBC.
Dame.
And negotiate as part of moving across to the PBC that he can fight Spence as part of the move.
Yes.
Because at the end of the day, if you're a welterweight and you're not on the PBC, who are you fighting?
That is the question. Can you be a welterweight at this moment in time at this moment in boxing history and not be on the PBC for your top flight welterweight. He did have the opportunity, did he not, to switch over? His contract, it appeared, had ended with Top Rank, and he chose to remain with Top Rank.
But he's getting paid more money with Bob.
Mm-hmm.
I need to double check what is guaranteed, but he's on a guarantee, isn't he, for every fight?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's why he's not fighting at the moment, because he's said he's not taking a pay cut, so he'll wait till Christ come back.
Yeah. So looks like he's on more money over there at Top Rank. You see Bob in the background. And okay, so that's the opening. That's the opening position. He needs to go over to Top Rank. He's got no choice. If he wants to fight them boys, he's got to go over to Top Rank. Initially, when that philosophy was uttered, back when his contract had expired and he had the opportunity to move across the road, across the street, I thought, well, why should he have to? Why should he have to? But it's becoming abundantly clear that if he wants those fights, he's got to cross the road. He's got to cross the street. There ain't no way around it. He's got to cross over the road. He's got no choice if he wants those fights. So it would appear. So, I think at this point, I think we're gonna have to go over and look at some receipts. Well, I've got that twice. I'll get rid of that. Do I get rid of that or do I keep it? Okay, let's get rid of that. Boom. And we got the audio for that. Okay, do we listen to the audio for that, or do we look at an article? Let me have a look at the articles. Let's see which one is the most pertinent. Okay, Thurman to Crawford. Okay, well, let's have a look at this then. Let's have a look at this. Let's share this. Boom. 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 Okay, so we'll call this Exhibit A. We'll call this Exhibit A. Let's have a look how it's looking on your screens. Okay, that's acceptable. That's visual. And let's get into that then. Okay, so Thurman, remember, we have a number of exhibits. This is Exhibit A. Okay, so Thurman to Crawford, send the contract. Let me post it on IG and sign it live. Okay, a healthy Keith Thurman is undoubtedly one of the best welterweights in the world, says the article. A motivated Keith Thurman is a different type of animal altogether. Who wrote this? Okay, Jake Donovan. There he is. Okay, just like to know who I'm reading from. Okay, so the former unified welterweight titleist continues the process of returning to the version of old as he aims for a ring return sometime in the fourth quarter of 2020. While there are ideas in mind for the manner in which he plans to return to the title picture, there is one option in particular that has piqued his interest: a showdown with the undefeated pound-for-pound entrant Terrence Bud Crawford, 36-0, 27 KOs. Such a bout has been teased by the Florida native in past interviews, particularly in the early stages of the ongoing coronavirus pandemic, at a time when the sport and the world was at a standstill. Such claims of interest didn't resonate with the intended target, however. You don't know what you want to do, Crawford said at the time, because if a contract was sent to Keith Thurman, you would find a way out. So stop playing with my name. You're a guy who just cries wolf. Dame. Harsh words from Terrence Crawford to Keith Thurman. Okay, so how much more of this is there? Okay, that's way too much for the Rafi to read. They got a show to do. They're saying listen with Rafi. Actually, that's a good idea for a show. But anyway, let's try and get to the pertinent point. Okay, I see it. I see something. Send the contract. Thurman exclaimed during one of his most recent installments of the last. Anyway, whatever. Send the contract and let me post it on my IG, and I'll sign it live, baby. I'll sign it live. Let me get my first contract live. My first live signing. They don't know me. Crawford called me out saying that about me. They don't know me. They don't know what kind of contracts I've had in my face. I've never been presented with a contract for a real fight. Damn, that's very particular. That's very particular. What was he going to say? It's real petty at the end of the day. And I'll tell you why. We do this for a living. We do this for a living. We do this to put food on our tables. There are people who fight in the street for nothing. Overstepping on someone's Jordans, homie, over nothing. We fight for the world. We fight for our fans. We fight for our family. We fight for our pride. I'd love to fight. I love to fight. And I'm going to fight till the day I die. OMG. It's never going to retire. In the one who said, got an O, I am not afraid to be beaten. Manny Pacquiao beat me. Can you beat me? Can you go toe to toe? I don't know. Send the contract. Thurman has been out of the ring since his hard-fought 12-round defeat to the legendary Manny Pacquiao in their welterweight title fight consolidation and all that jazz. Let's look for some quotes. Okay, here it is. Right now, I want Crawford. Crawford. More now. Insists Thurman. He got under my skin. Errol, that's a timeline issue. I know how the game works. We got the same manager. That's a timeline issue. This is Crawford. This Crawford dude. Send a contract, bro. Tell ESPN to send some zeros my way. They know an appropriate number. I'll sign on the dotted line. Don't run. Don't run. Hold on. Don't act like I run from you. You never got respect in the game anyway at 147. You ain't pushed the buttons at 147. You ain't touched Sean Porter. You ain't touched Thurman. You ain't touched Garcia. You ain't touched Spence. I'm going to run out of fingers. I can name all my opponents you ain't touched. I'm going to run out of fingers, boy. Stop it. Just stop it. OMG. What does this one say? The last quote here. Tell me when you want. Tell me when you want it. Vows Thurman. You want it before Christmas? Merry Christmas. I'll take the check. Merry Christmas. Dame. Harsh words there, strong words there. John Daly from Thurman. Before we go to the counterpunch or counteraction on that. Strong words from Thurman.
What, from Keith, part-time Thurman.
OMG. OMG.
Yeah. Keith's been offered this fight before.
Right.
And coming off a loss, a huge layoff, and a poor performance before that, he's not really done anything, as far as I can see, to warrant a world title fight. Or a big money fight. Particularly when you look at who else is at welterweight.
Yeah.
So Keith Thurman is not a fighter I have any time for on any level whatsoever. He's got slightly less dog in him than Joseph Parker. So yeah.
It's a good thing they're asleep over there in New Zealand. Hold on. Yes.
The Kiwis can have it with me anytime they want on that. Because Joe would actually be a good boxer if he had some dog.
Yeah, he would.
So that's his biggest his size and his lack of dog are his biggest limitations. But he has skill sets to overcome his size limitation.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, the lack of dog is something that no boxer can, succeed with.
It's hard to overcome that.
You cannot be a successful boxer when you have the amount of dog that Joseph Parker and Keith Thurman have.
What about hypnotism?
Well, I know you're big on that idea. I haven't seen any hard evidence to know if it would work or not. Mm-hmm. If I was in Joe's position, I'd either retire because he's a rich man in New Zealand, mm-hmm. or try it because he hasn't got anything to lose.
Exactamundo.
But yeah, Keith, he's not even good at trash talking. And how are we supposed to take this man seriously? He got dropped by money, a geriatric money at that, and he's talking all this smack. No, thank you, Keith.
Are you telling Keith Thurman to take a seat?
Yeah. One of the best things that could happen would be Keith Thurman to be sitting at a press conference where he's trying to be the headliner ahead of Derek Chisora.
Uh-oh.
That would be great entertainment for the people.
OMG. That would be entertaining indeed. Okay. So before we press on with the counteraction, let's go into the chats. And don't forget, everybody, we got Rick Glazer later on tonight. It'll be 9 p.m. over here in the UK, 4 p.m. on the East Coast, and 1 p.m. over there on the West. So you got all the, I don't know what time it's going to be in the mountains. I'll have to speak to El Jefe about that. But in the meantime, let's get into, let's do a quick roll call. Okay, CCC, Jameson up in the building. Cal L up in the building. Who else we got up in here? Who else? Yes. The Combat Nation is here and in effect. Who else we got? Oh dear, Dixon Siders, the classic Raf sending all the fake news. Oh dear. Well, you know that Rafi comes with receipts, my dear fellow. Rafi comes with receipts, so I don't know where you're getting the fake news from. Maybe your cider, Dixon. Maybe your cider is fake. Have you ever thought about that?
I think he might have shot his bolt a bit early there.
Shot his bolt way early. We got receipts over here. So Dixon.
Well, also this is only the opening gambit, Rafi.
This is the opening gambit. We got Barbara. We just started the thing. We're getting jingles and all sorts over here, mate. You got to respect the game over here. Okay, so what's going on? James Javison says Thurman doesn't. Yeah, James Davison is echoing your sentiments, John. Thurman doesn't deserve a shot. Joe Parker can fight. Joseph Parker can fight, but it's the dog we're talking about. The dog I'm recommending, hypnotism. So we're gonna have to see if Joseph Parker gets back with any inquiries. Let's have a look. Judge, jury, and judge, jury, and executioner. Absolutely not. You guys are the jury. I'm just the leading attorney on the case. That's all. Thurman got schooled by Pac-Man. Yeah, but is that so much of an insult, though? Is it a terrible thing to get schooled by Pac-Man? John Daly, is it a terrible thing to get schooled by Pac-Man? Is that humiliation?
Well, it wasn't. I mean, it wasn't that wide a decision.
Yeah.
It wasn't that wide a decision. So that's the first thing. Second thing is, Manny's age has to be a factor in this.
Yeah.
So it's not a total disgrace. At the same time, Thurman was expected to win that fight, and he failed.
I expected him to win it. Yeah.
And he failed. And the bigger point is, I don't think it's enough to give you another world title shot straight away. If you didn't have a rematch clause with Manny, then you need to go and pay your dues and work your way back up the food chain, really.
Yes.
So, I mean, is it a disgrace? No. Is it a good look? Not particularly. And does it earn you another world title shot? Definitely not.
OMG. No punches being held here. James Jameson says Joseph ain't mean enough in the ring. 100%. That's why I'm recommending hypnotism. The jury's out on that. I'm recommending hypnotism. Absolutement. Okay. So we've looked at Exhibit A. Now, why is that picture still there? I have no idea. Let's stop sharing that. Okay. So we've looked at Exhibit A. And now let's take a look at Exhibit B. Oh dear, this is a biggie. Let's share this. Okay, let me check to make sure you're seeing what you're supposed to be seeing. Okay, it's there. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into this. We got a couple of exhibits to go. Okay, so and good evening, good afternoon, good morning, whatever time zone you're in. The link, I believe the link is in the chat. Let me put it in again. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, so let's get straight into this article. This is Exhibit B. Okay, so Bob Arum says Thurman's people called about Crawford fight, but money demands are crazy. Okay, so Bob Arum wants Terrence Crawford to fight Manny Pacquiao next, more than any other welterweight. The high-profile opponent Pacquiao barely beat in his last fight. Interests what? The high-profile opponent Pacquiao barely beat. Oh, I get it. Barely beat.
There's a bit of a sales job going on there, Rafi. That's all.
There's a bit of a sales job going on. Barely beat in his last fight. Interests Crawford's promoter as well. Arum considers Crawford, Keith Thurman, a terrific fight, but he isn't optimistic it can be made based on his recent conversations with one of Thurman's representatives. Okay, so Thurman's people got in touch with me, says Arum. but they're out to lunch. Haven't heard that expression in a while. Bob's bringing it back. Okay. Arum told Raphael Dawkins Combat Radio representatives they have such crazy expectations that just don't exist anymore. Their money demands are crazy. They say they were free agents, which I'm sure they are. But again, who's going to pay what they're looking for? Even Thurman's like, I don't know. Arum didn't divulge the dollar amount Thurman's representative requested, nor would he identify who contacted him on Thurman's behalf. We have learned that Thurman will likely headline a Fox broadcast on December the 26th, though his opponent has not yet been chosen. The 32-year-old Crawford is expected to return to the ring in November 14th. ESPN will likely televise Crawford's upcoming defense of the WBO welterweight title, but Arum is still seeking an opponent for the Omaha, Nebraska native. A Pacquiao fight would require international investors to offer a large side fee to bring the bout to a venue outside of the United States where fans could watch in person. Arum also continues to discuss a potential Crawford-Kell Brook bout with Brook's handlers. Crawford-Brook would take place in a bubble environment without fans in the US or the United Kingdom. Brook is a very good opponent, Arum said. Brook fought Errol Spence and gave him a good fight. The 34-year-old Brook has lost only to, I don't want to go off on a tangent there. The 31-year-old Thurman hasn't fought since suffering his lone loss, a 12-round split decision defeat to the Philippine Pacquiao in July. Thurman then had surgery 11 months ago, which bones were fused in his left hand. The former WBA, WBC welterweight champion has been careful while using his repaired jab hand in the gym, but expects to be able to box before the end of the year. So the pertinent point there is that Bob Arum says that Thurman's people are making crazy demands. So I put it to you, John Daly, that it's all well and good calling somebody out, but if the number you're asking for is not realistic, then what's the point? What's the objective? Do you really want it?
I think this is just some clout chasing by Thurman. Ultimately, there's very little buzz around Keith at the moment. He's coming off a loss.
Yep.
And if that article is correct, he's already got a date to fight. So if he's got a date to fight on Fox, why isn't he sending? Well, Keith can't accept an offer anyway because he's got an exclusivity deal with ESPN. But that says it all. They can't fight. If he's got a date on Fox,
you mean Crawford? You mean Crawford's got an exclusive deal with ESPN?
Yeah. So no, I was going to say, why doesn't Keith send Crawford an offer? But Crawford can't accept it anyway.
Right. Yeah.
But in the article, we've also heard that Keith already got a date to fight on Fox.
December the 26th, Boxing Day.
So if that's true, and I mean, it's a way off, so it could well be subject to change, or it might just not be true. If it is true, it's just a bit of clout chasing to try and get his name out there ahead of the real opponent being announced.
Bit of promotion, self-promotion, trying to stir up the pot, get the people talking, and it has worked because we're talking about it. Where are we? Let me get back.
But I mean, a better opponent for Keith would be the Porter rematch. They're both coming off a loss in world title fights. Whoever wins that fight puts themselves right back in the mix.
I like that idea.
That's a good fight.
It's interesting that you mentioned Porter because he features. I think he features in Exhibit C or Exhibit D, so he's coming up. He's in this conversation. Okay, so let me get into the chat real quick, real smooth. Like Thurman has to start again. Yes, he has to press the restart button. Andre is up in the building. How you doing, matey? How you doing, mate? Yeah, we're just cooking the thing up over here. Are we cooking or dry roasting? I don't know. You tell me. So we've heard from what was Exhibit A? Let me just scroll through this thing. Let me keep track of these exhibits. What was Exhibit A? Oh, okay. Let me keep these in order. Okay, so Exhibit A was Thurman talking about that he's talking about. Oh, let me share this so people can keep track. Stop sharing that and start sharing this. Okay, let's keep up with these exhibits. Exhibit A was Thurman saying to Crawford, send the contract. Let me post it on IG and sign it live. That was Exhibit A. Okay, and let's get to Exhibit B. Exhibit B, we just talked about Exhibit B, but we keep in track. Where is that? Aaron, there it is. There is Exhibit B with Bob Arum saying Thurman's people did call, but their money demands were outrageous. Okay, so that was Exhibit A and Exhibit B. And now let's get to Exhibit C. Where is this now? I told him no, it's not. It's on. Oh, okay. Well, let's get into that right now then. I'm not going to share that. You're not going to see that, but you're going to hear that. So I'm going to share it via audio. We don't want any issues. Don't want any issues. Okay, so this is Sean Porter speaking on a call, a telephone call, or some kind of communication he had with Crawford. And this is what Sean Porter had to say about the interaction that he had with Crawford in relation to that, the two of them fighting. Okay, let's get into this. I hope the volume is sufficiently high. Let's see how it goes.
Did you ever have that conversation with Terrence? I know last time I saw you, you said that you were going to try to talk to him. Did that conversation ever take place?
We did, man. We spoke, and you know, just to keep it brief, basically he says, "Hey, man, I got some other things going on, and now's not the time." And I was like, "All right, I have to respect that, man. I'm not gonna, say what we talked about, anything like that at all. I just wanted to get that clear understanding that this fight wasn't gonna happen right now." He said, "No, I got some other things that are brewing, and hey, if those things fall out, then we can get it on." And I said, "All right." I said, "Well, I got something going on too, so we'll see what happens." And right now, for me, it's Sebastian Formella.
I know it's a.
Okay, did you hear that, John? Did you hear that clearly?
Yeah.
Okay, so Sean Porter is saying that he spoke to Crawford, and Crawford said he has other things going on. Now, my position on this is that why didn't Porter fight Crawford when they both had a belt? They both had a belt, and I didn't hear Porter calling out Crawford. People were saying that fight can't happen because they're on the different sides of the street. So if that fight couldn't happen because they're on different sides of the street, how come Sean Porter is now implying that them being on different sides of the street is not a factor? John D. Lee.
Okay. Well, answer to part A is he fought Spence. So that was a unification fight.
Yeah.
So no issues. Answer to part B is now Spencer's got Sean's title. I very much doubt I would mind him going over there and seeing if you could get Terrence's title and coming back. So I'm sure I will give him a green light. It's not like he's got an oath to protect or anything. So I'd say that's fairly straightforward. And I haven't really got a problem with Sean. Sean's fought everybody.
Yeah. But he didn't fight. But he didn't fight Crawford when he had a title, though.
Yeah, but he fought Spence. So
he did fight Spence.
So I mean, he was in a unification fight.
Yeah, but it would have been a unification fight with Crawford.
Yeah, he would. But I mean, unless he beats Spence and then he refuses to unify, you can't really pin it on him. You can't. I mean, ultimately, whoever you think is the better fighter, Spencer's actually got the better resume at welterweight.
Yeah, he's fought.
He's the more established champion. So, I don't have any issues with Sean Porter fighting Errol Spence. There's nothing wrong with that fight at all. No. You just have to hate on the PBC if you're going to say there's an issue there. The problem that you have is the winner of that fight should be looking to fight in the next fight either Pacquiao or Crawford. Unfortunately, the winner of that fight is just recovering from a car crash.
Yes. I have an issue with the fact that they couldn't fight before. From the PBC standpoint, they can't fight because they're on other sides of the road. They're on different sides of the road. But now all of a sudden, they can fight. They can fight now. But before they couldn't fight. But now they can fight. Before,
Al's got nothing to lose now, has he?
Well, Al's got nothing. No, but the rules have changed though. My issue is the fact that the rules have changed. Before they couldn't fight because they're on different sides of the road, but now they're still on different sides of the road. But now they can fight. That's my issue.
Okay, well, that I can explain that. You probably,
Yeah.
I'm not justifying this answer, but I believe that when Al negotiates with the different TV platforms he showcases his fights on, he guarantees a certain number of world title fights. I think that's in the negotiation. So if you hold a world title, I won't let you cross the other side of the street. I think that's been proven though. If you don't have a world title and you go and fight somebody who does, I was more than happy to chance it because you can bring that title back to his side unless you're somebody who's heavily invested in like Tank Davis. But with Tank Davis, what they'll do is they'll maneuver him to get baby belts and pretend they're world titles instead.
Yes, with Tank Davis. Yes.
So it's as simple as that. Because Sean had a world title, he couldn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the biggest proof in the pudding is Deontay Wilder. He was offered astronomical money to go and unify. And Heyman must be the person who blocked that. Because I think most people would sell their own for that type of money.
Yeah.
You know, whatever anybody thinks about Deontay Wilder, I think he'd be prepared to lose for that type of money.
Well, he did indicate at some point during those proceedings, during those talks, he did come out and say, well, you know, I got 2 households. I got mouths to feed. You know, sometimes you just got to do what you got to do.
For 120 million, Raf,
yeah.
I don't believe Deontay Wilder had a choice in accepting that. And if you actually look at the timeline, when all of the propaganda started, it started when Joshua didn't renew his deal with Showtime. And I think if Joshua had been on Showtime, we probably would have seen that fight.
Yeah, because Showtime, they work with, or at that point, they were working with BBC.
Well, Joshua had a multi-fight deal with Showtime. I've seen different reports on whether he fulfilled it or not.
Right.
But he certainly had 3 fights on there, as far as I'm aware. Although people dispute whether the Vlad one was on there because it was on. Well, no, it was on HBO and Showtime in America. Right. But people who are disputing that are forgetting that Vlad actually had the deal with HBO, so that's why it was a joint promotion. Nothing to do with Joshua.
Yes.
And as soon as that ended after that fight, that's exactly when Wilder started the propaganda campaign against Joshua, but did everything to not fight him.
Yes. I think there was a point in those proceedings when Wilder looked at the money and said, "Yeah, actually, yeah, I would fight for this money." But then the meeting was made. The meeting was made by what's his name, Lou Duva. No, not Lou Duva. DeBella. And they came out and said what they wouldn't tell us. They wouldn't tell us what the percentage split was. They wouldn't tell us how much Joshua was getting. How can I fight the man when I don't know how much he's getting? Counter argument. Well, you know how much you're getting. They said, no, I want to know, how can I fight a man when I don't know how much he's getting? But before that, he indicated that he had 2 households, he had mouths to feed. But after the meeting,
that's bogus anyway, because Shelley Finkel said when Wilder was asked by the journalist, why did you turn the contract down? And Shelley Finkel told him to sit back down and keep his mouth shut, effectively. When he said to Deontay, I'll answer that.
Yeah, I'll handle this.
Finkel's answer was, DAZN doesn't have enough viewers, and when Deontay Wilder knocks out Anthony Joshua, we want more. We want millions of people to see it. So the real answer is, because it's not on Showtime. That was the answer, and it all leads back to the same thing. Al Heyman has to guarantee a certain number of world title fights on his platforms. So if you have a belt, Al Heyman's not doing cross-promotional deals, with the exception of Tyson Fury. But the first point about that is the first one was on Showtime.
Yeah.
And the second one was a joint venture.
Yeah.
And both times, I think they thought that they could get away with dodgy scorecards because they didn't believe Tyson could knock out Deontay.
OMG. OMG. The cherry pick gone wrong. I was the first person to coin that phrase, incidentally. And I do have the receipts with relation to that particular fight, of course. I'm not saying I'm the first person who said it in history, but with relation to that particular fight, I was the first person on record to use the term a cherry pick gone wrong. And as you know, I do keep receipts. Okay. So before we move, what am I saying to that? What am I saying to that? Well, Porter, talking about Sean Porter. Why did he not fight Terrence Crawford when he had a belt? So it'd be two belts up for grabs. That would have made the most sense. But John Daly comes back with, well, he did fight Spence, so you can't really complain about that. Well, yeah, he did fight Spence, but where was the rematch clause? You're a champion v champion. How the hell did he not have a rematch clause? But from Terrence Crawford's perspective, I can understand him saying, well, hold on, you had a belt and I had a belt. We could have fought then. Why are you coming now empty-handed? What does Terrence Crawford gain by fighting a Porter who's coming with empty hands? John D. Lee.
Well, this goes back to my original statement, really. You know, the fights that Crawford needs to be having are his mandatories and the other champions. So he needs to find a way out of the top rank contract.
Even though he's being paid well.
Well, it's a choice, isn't it? Do you want to fight rubbish fights that nobody really wants to watch, or and take the money? Which I can see Bob getting to a point where he's going to renege on this, because Amir Khan on pay-per-view against Terrence Crawford, the numbers are embarrassing. And then he fights Mean Machine, which is mandatory. It's all fair enough, but that's not doing any big numbers. Is a fight that could happen realistically against Kell Brook really going to do any numbers?
That's the problem.
You got Kell Brook with a metal face, who's no longer really able to make the weight properly comfortably either. Keeps trying to float between 154 and 147 because he's going to struggle at 154 simply because of his length, if nothing else. You got guys at 6 foot plus at 154.
Yeah.
I mean, Cal might do all right. I don't know. He's physically strong, so
he's strong.
He's a strong guy. So I mean, he might, he may manage it there, but it's not going to be a walk in the park for him. And he's not. It's not like he's not damaged goods or at the beginning or middle of his career. You know, he's in the twilight of his career. So yeah, they could do that fight. I think Eddie would quite happily send him over to ESPN. If Kel wanted to go, I don't think Eddie would stop him having a world title fight. But is it? I mean, how's that going to do in the American market?
American market.
He's a known name, but he's a forgotten name. He's the guy Spence beat.
Yeah.
He's the guy Spence beat who beat Porter.
And Porter's the guy who Spence beat as well.
Yeah.
But you're right, Spence. But Brook did beat Porter.
Yeah, Brook beat Porter. But how long ago was that, Rafi?
That was a few years ago now.
Yeah. And then he didn't do a whole lot of anything else apart from get
No.
stabbed in the leg and night before.
OMG. OMG. Okay, so that was, what was that, Exhibit B or Exhibit C? Whichever.
We're on to C there.
We're on to C now.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, that was C.
That was C. That was C. So we're on to Exhibit D now. But before we get to Exhibit, remember, folks, we're not here for a long time. We're here for a good time. Just getting that good information out there, that good discussion out there. So we're not here for long. Remember, we got Rick Laser later on tonight, 9 p.m. UK time, 4 p.m. Eastern, and 1 p.m. over there on the West. Okay, so we just had to bang this one out. Got a couple of exhibits more to go, and then that's all she wrote. Okay, so let's get into the chat. Let's see what's going on in the chat. Okay, best of the best. What we got here? Best of the best in the building. Thurman, don't want to see Bud for real. He's just using Crawford's name to stay relevant, bro. Yes, yes, yes. Andre said, now's not the time. Then when is the time? That might be referring to something that I said. Well, my thing is, what I said, Andre, was that, well, the time to fight was when they both had straps. Surely that was the time.
Was that referring to what Sean said in the interview?
Oh,
because Sean quoted Terrence as saying Terrence said now's not the time.
Oh,
he's got other things to do.
Oh, okay, I got you. But it's the same answer though. For me, it's the same answer. It's my problem. My problem with Porter is, why did he not? You see, he fought Spence. That's an in-house fight. That fight could have been made at any time. But the Crawford v. Porter fight, more difficult. Why not? Why would you not fight Crawford at that time? Why go?
I can answer that though. Rafi.
Yeah.
Who's a more established champion at welterweight?
That would be Spence. Because
so the argument would be, not only is it an in-house fight, it's actually the better fight.
Well, if it's the better fight and arguably the tougher fight, why not have a warm-up? Why didn't you do a little warm-up with Crawford?
Yeah, but you can't criticize him for taking it though.
You can't criticize. Well, what my criticism is not that he took it, is that.
But once he's taken it, he's lost. So it kind of, unfortunately, in this case, I just don't see how you can really criticize that. You could criticize the scorecard. You could definitely say there should be a rematch going on between those two. But I just don't see how you can. It would be like now. Let's say Terrence Crawford manages to get Manny Pacquiao in the ring. Yeah. Are you going to criticize him for doing that ahead of fighting Spence?
Ahead of fight? Well, Spence has shown no indication that he wants that fight.
No. But let's just, if he was able to do both in a perfect world, I chose Manny over
Spence.
Yeah. Are you really gonna? Is it really a problem?
Well, once again, I mean, in this situation, I'd say better go for Manny. That's clearly the bigger fight. That's the bigger money fight. That's the bigger prestige fight, because Manny's got the bigger name, historical name. Spence ain't there yet. So I would say, you got to take Manny. So I would say it's slightly different in that regard, because
it is different in that regard. But by the same token, who has Terrence Crawford actually beat at welterweight?
Well, I mean, because he came up. It's
a bit like prioritizing Usyk. It's not quite as dramatic, but he was just undisputed at the weight class below. So whilst there's a bigger gap going from cruiserweight to heavyweight, Crawford isn't as proven at welterweight as Spence is.
No, he isn't.
So to get on at Porter about fighting Spence, you might, there's an argument for him fighting Crawford. I mean, of course there is, because they were all champions at the time.
Yeah.
But if you go into a unification fight, you can't fight both champions at the same time.
You can't fight both champions at the same time. That is true. I think my argument is why not take the, there's a fight that's there for you. If you can make the Crawford fight, why not take the Crawford fight at that time and then come back and clean up, do a clean sweep. That's my argument. There is the counter argument that you can't really criticize the guy for fighting another champion. That's one argument. My argument is that now you're empty-handed and you're going to Crawford. I don't know. Okay, it's still a tick if Crawford beats Porter. But
I'm not in any hurry to see Crawford fight Porter either, really, at this point.
Why not?
Because I want to see Crawford fight either Manny or Spence.
Yes, I would agree with that.
So that's kind of why it doesn't matter that Sean's empty-handed at the end of the day. You got beat. So the people who should be on Crawford's list, he's done his mandatory, so he doesn't need to worry about that. And the other two champions.
Yes. I certainly agree with that. The priority are people. Well, that's ultimately what I'm saying. The priority for Crawford surely must be with people who have belts. Sean Porter right about now is empty-handed. And I think you've made my point for me. Those are the priorities for Crawford, to fight people who have belts. And Sean Porter does not have a belt anymore. So I don't really want to hear no crying from the Sean Porter side, because he had a belt. He chose to fight another guy with a belt. So that's cool. But now he doesn't have a belt. And I think, John, you made my point for me.
Well, I wasn't really disagreeing with you. I just, at the end of the day, when it comes down to Sean Porter, there's no need to criticise him.
No.
He's done everything asked of him.
Yeah.
And like I said, the best fight for him at the moment would be something like Keith Thurman. Go and smash Keith up. He gave you your first out. He gave you an L. Go and smash him up, and you're back in the mix.
Go and smash him up and you're back in the mix. On that, I certainly agree. Okay, so before we move on to Exhibit Day, anybody who's missed A, B, and C, catch that later. But right about now, we're heading into Exhibit D. But first of all, let's acknowledge the people in the chat. Let's do that now. Okay, Bob loves them wolf tickets. Bob loves them wolf tickets. I don't know. What's the wolf ticket though? What's the wolf ticket, Uncle Burnt? Apostrophe. Big Ant. What does STL stand for? What does STL stand for, Big Ant? I've never really thought about it before, but okay. Big Ant is in the building, and he says, I think Sean Porter beat Errol Spence, but what do I know?
No, like I said, I mean, you could disagree with the outcome on the scorecards.
Yeah.
But it's happened.
I thought it was mighty close. I wouldn't have been upset if they raised Sean Porter.
Mean, if Spence was willing to give Sean the rematch, I think that's actually totally justified. But currently, it's a bit. He's having a tune-up against Danny Garcia to see if he can continue.
Yes,
that's the reality. Although there were no plans to rematch Porter, because after he beat Porter, they announced the Danny Garcia fight being next for him anyway. Yes. So this isn't really about whether Spence owes Porter a rematch, because I think he does. This is about what Terrence Crawford should be doing.
Yes.
Which is a different thing altogether.
Yes. Scott 70 up in the building and says 2014. 2014, rather cryptic.
Just one quick thing, Scott. Joe Louis would smash Muhammad Ali.
Just one thing, John. There's nothing wrong with dreaming. OMG. Bringing the controversy. We're bringing the controversy, folks. So make sure you smash that like button. Make sure you smash that subscribe button if you have not already. And for sure, hit that notification bell. And also hit that share button. And also feel free to follow me on social media, namely Twitter. Okay, under the Raphael Dawkins Combat Radio. Easy to find. Not really an argument there. Hit that like button. Absolutely. The Red Glove Militant is up in the building. No lady, no cry. You got me stumped with that one as well. You got me stumped with that.
It's a bit of a Marley reference. That's all I can get out of that.
It's a bit of a what reference? Sorry?
Bob Marley reference.
Oh, yeah. Bob Marley. Okay. Red Glove always coming with the cryptic. Anybody who can solve the riddle gets a free Snickers bar. Okay. So, Uncle Burnt Apostrophe says he's attaching names to Crawford fight that you have to suspect at this point aren't really serious propositions. He's attaching names to a Crawford.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I don't believe that Bob's got any chance of getting Crawford in the fight with Pacquiao. Yeah.
It seems like a stretch.
And it's been a continuous stream out of Bob's mouth. Manny fights under negotiation, all the rest of it. Manny's team's crickets. So I think that's true.
Yes. Brooke v. Porter 2014 Dream on John.
Well, Ali was susceptible to left hooks, and Joe Louis had a pretty good one.
OMG. What's the counter to that one? Well, yeah, Ali was good on his feet. Ali was good on.
You're actually trying to tell me that Henry's hammer is as good as Joe Louis' left hook?
Henry's hammer. Sometimes people get hit by lightning.
Twice.
Did Henry Cooper drop Ali twice with Henry's hammer?
I'm pretty certain he did. I'll double check it.
Two time.
I'm pretty certain because he fought him twice. I'm sure he got drops in both.
Well, sometimes, and you made my point for me, John. Sometimes, you get hit by lightning twice, but it doesn't happen very often. It don't happen. Okay, I'll let you chew on that one, John.
No, there's no chewing going on. At the end of the day, we're talking about a far slower, less powerful left hook than the one that Joe Louis consistently produced.
I don't find your argument conclusive, John. It's a good.
It's all right. I can provide a lot of evidence.
Yeah, well, we'll have to.
I'll send it on to you. I'm just trying to build up the debate. Rafi.
For the debate, he's really angry for the debate. He really is.
Well, at the end of the day, we had a debate about who was the greatest, but we never actually had a chat about who would win the fight and how. Did we not? No.
Talk about who would win the fight.
We didn't even discuss the fight.
Oh, okay. Well, that's interesting. I'll have to leave the link in the chat for people to decide for themselves. Okay, so I was born and raised in St. Louis, home of Leon Spinks, St. Louis. Okay, I got you. It's St. Louis. Okay, mystery solved. I was saying no lady, no cry when you said you don't want to hear Sean Porter cry. OMG. Okay, I say a lot of things. Once OMG.
Okay. Well, I'm pretty certain if he only got dropped once, he definitely got rocked by it in the second fight. And if we look at 60s Ali's resume, that's all right.
Carry on, John.
If we look at Ali's 60s resume, It's not really that good.
Right.
Ali's whole reputation was really built on his second career and what could have been.
And what could have been. What could
I mean, if you look at his fight against Zora Foley, right, which according to Angelo Dundee is his best performance.
Yeah.
Not my words, Angelo Dundee's words. Go and watch the Sonny Liston Zora Foley fight. And see what happens in that one.
It don't work like that though, Johnny.
No. I can consistently do this with some of his opponents.
Yeah.
Because he's not the only one that they fought as well. So there's a guy that he fought twice called Patson Floyd.
Yeah.
What did Liston do to him?
Yeah. Styles make fights.
No, I'm not doing triangle theories. I'm saying the resume is not that strong from the 60s.
Well,
George Travaglio.
Yeah.
Brian London.
Yeah.
Henry Cooper. As a resume, which is my point, Rafi. My point about those two guys getting completely sparked by Liston is he wasn't beating unbeaten fighters. He was beating people who'd been absolutely nailed to the canvas already. It's not the Styles make fights triangle theory. And he beat Liston twice.
Yeah.
My point is the opponents that he took on in the 1960s are no big shakes.
The opponents he took on in the 1960s are no big, but that sounds like the debate though, doesn't it? That sounds like the debate.
No, I'm just saying.
I mean, ultimately, Ali v. Liston ultimately would come down to, I guess. No.
You're missing my point altogether. I'm not talking about Ali versus Liston because Ali beat Liston twice.
No, I'm not talking about Liston. I mean,
Joe Louis.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I'm not discussing who's got the better resume because if we're going to talk about, I'm just saying Ali's 60s resume isn't that amazing. That was one point that I made. We're going to talk about the fight.
Which heavyweight had a better 60s resume than Ali?
Well, you can actually argue Sonny Liston did because he.
Yeah, no, I'll go with that argument.
You can argue it quite comfortably because he beat most of Ali's opponents first.
Okay, I could go with that argument. But what I'm saying in response is that let's say that Liston had a better 60s resume than Ali. Let's say that. Let's say it, just for argument's sake, we'll say that. But then Ali beat Liston twice. So where does that leave us?
Look, the Liston victories and the Foreman victory are probably the best things on his resume as far as I'm concerned. So you can have all the credit in the world for that. And as I've said on numerous occasions, when it comes down to dog, Ali's right up there with anybody, the best of them.
Yeah.
So it's not that I don't like Ali. I happen to think Joe Louis is the #1 heavyweight of all time. That's what it comes down to.
I appreciate that's your position, but
what I was trying to say was Ali's reputation is built on two things. His 70s resume,
right,
which is stellar, and what could have been because of lost years. Yeah. But his 60s resume has only really got Liston on it.
Okay.
Those are the only good wins.
Okay, well let's say that is true, and I'm not agreeing with you. But
I don't think you are.
Yeah, and let's say that is true. So let's say that is true. Where we left with John, before we move on, is that Ali beat a guy twice who had a bit better 60s resume than he.
Well, if you want to go down the road of he took his resumes, like because he beat him, he took his resume. I'm okay with that. In fact, if that's how you want to do it, that's
not necessarily what I'm saying. I'm just
but I mean, some people take that view.
Yeah,
some people take that view.
Yeah, I'm just pointing back.
And having Liston on there,
yeah,
you could say is enough to have the best resume, but it's a bit like Tyson Fury. He's got 2 really good wins.
Yeah,
and the rest is a bit.
Yeah, but I'm not even saying that. All I'm saying is that if we, for argument's sake, say Sonny Liston had a better 60s resume than Ali,
but then if that's what I just said, though.
No, but just let me say what I'm saying, though. If we, just for argument's sake, agree or say that Sonny Liston had a better 60s resume than Ali, and then Ali goes and beats him twice, then is that not then?
Yeah, that's what I said. If you subscribe to the view that if you beat him, you then take his resume, as it were. So because he beat Liston, Liston's resume counts towards Ali's resume, which is what I think you're saying. That's fine. If you want to, and that's what I said before, I think. So if you subscribe to that argument, that's fine. You know, I'm all right with that. It's not really my position particularly. But if we get into all of my views on this, we get into opinions. So no, I'm happy to stick with facts.
Yeah.
So if that's the view you take, then I'm happy to concede that point.
Yeah. And
so
the
that's fine.
And the fact is that before we go any further into the rabbit hole, I think you've had your say on this. I've had my say on this. I'm prepared to move on.
Yeah, I'm quite happy to move on. I mean, I was only talking about what would happen if the two of them fought each
What would happen if the two of them fought, John?
No, not now. I'm trying to build a debate. Right?
No, what would happen, John? You know?
No, we don't both know what happened because we don't think the same thing. John, we don't think the same thing.
We both know. I think we both know what would happen, Johnny.
No, we don't. No, not in my heart of hearts at all, Rafi. I don't think you've watched enough of Joe's fights. I know that prior to watching that Sonny Liston versus Cleveland Williams fight, you didn't have a true appreciation for how good.
That might be fair.
And I've watched all of Ali's fights.
Yeah.
And I've watched all of the footage I can possibly find on Joe Louis. Because you can't get all of his fights. So it's a totally different debate altogether. Yeah.
Totally different debate. Okay, we can agree on that. We don't agree with many things when it comes to Muhammad Ali and Joe Louis, but we can agree on that point. And it's always interesting when John and I discuss Ali and Joe Louis.
Yeah, but set the date.
Make the date, mate.
Make the date. No, that's not what we're doing today. I can step up it. Make the date.
John Daly sounding a lot like the guy from Alabama there. Make the date, mate.
Hey, you know, I don't mind stealing Wilder's lines when he has a good one. The difference is, Rafi, I won't lose my pen.
OMG, this is a funny one. It's gonna be a funny one when we have that debate eventually. But anyway, that's a thing for another time. We already had the debate on there, whatever it was, who was the greatest, and I think the consensus view that Muhammad Ali was the greatest. But you know, there's time for more discussions on that contentious matter. But
look, that is currently in the world, that's the most widely accepted view. I'm aware of that.
Yeah, but
that's the general consensus.
Nonetheless, we did have a discussion. We did chop it up thoroughly, but John Daly wants some more. So you know, we're gonna have to serve up some more. If John Daly goes up to the counter like Oliver and says, "Please, can I have some more?"
Rough.
I have some more.
Oh dear.
We're gonna have to provide. We can't run away from these things, as contentious as they are. But anyway, we're running. Yeah,
we're running late.
Overrunning.
We're on to the last exhibit, I think.
Yeah, I think it's the last one. Let's get into the chat first. Ali was looking at Liz Taylor when OMG. For those you do know who Liz Taylor is, John?
Yeah.
Okay.
Why wouldn't I know who she is?
Oh, because you went quiet. I thought maybe you don't know.
No,
but...
I thought you were just reading out the comments. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, if people want to put forward excuses, you know, there's quite a lot of excuses out there about Sonny's second performance in the second fight. I chose to steer away from all of that.
There's plenty of excuses going around there. Absolutely.
So let's not give Ali any excuses. Let's give Henry the credit. Let's just give Henry's hammer the credit it deserves. That's all I'm saying.
Hammer the credit it deserves, but also we have to acknowledge jokes as well. Sonny Liston, not good. Sonny Liston, not good. Cut it out, John. OMG. Didn't Ali beat Floyd Patterson in the
hold on a minute. Hold on a minute.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Sonny Liston is my #1 favorite heavyweight. And my point about the Floyd Patterson, Floyd is the most protected heavyweight of all time, and Sonny had smashed him up twice before Ali ever got his hands on it.
Floyd was protected. There's no doubt about that. We got Phil Walker in the building. After a long time, Phil Walker makes a return. How do you do, Phil? Okay. We're moving on. We're pressing on.
So I don't know if he hadn't heard that. I don't know. Maybe that's a bit earlier in the debate, but yeah. Sonny Liston is the only good name on his resume in the 60s.
The only good name on Sonny Liston had the best resume of the 60s, and apparently, allegedly, according to John Daly, is the only good name on Ali's resume. But even if we take that worst case scenario,
because you know Ernie Terrell was one of Sonny's sparring partners and used to get battered by him all the time.
Ali still beat him.
Yeah. I've conceded that
twice, and we're pressing on. John Daly's trying to turn this into a
no. Come on, let's get on with it.
I mean, Joe Louis. Is it his birthday or something, John? Is it Joe Louis' birthday or something?
No. Joe Louis' birthday. I don't even know if I should say this. Joe Louis' birthday is actually the day before mine. It's got nothing.
Now we know. Now we know.
It's got nothing to do with it.
The truth has been revealed, folks.
Rafi, the day before. It's not even my birthday.
Yeah, but it's within 24 hours, though, isn't it, John?
So what?
It's within 24 hours, so
you know. No reflection on me.
Maybe it is, John. Or maybe
how?
Maybe I don't know. Maybe there's
how?
Maybe are you in astrology? You believe in astrology?
No.
Okay. Well, numerology? Are you into numerology?
No.
Okay.
I don't look. I believe in measurable empirical data.
Aha. And
there's nothing to substantiate either of those two philosophies with that type of data
that you've seen, that you've been exposed to.
What does? I'm not saying there's nothing to it. There's no empirical data to support it.
You will see.
If there was, not because of if there was, it would be out there for everybody to see. Because astrology is so old. If someone came out with substantive evidence to prove that it was all true, it would be everywhere. That would be huge news, Rafa. It's not the sort of thing you can keep under lock and key.
Well, it's the same day. It's the same day with the time difference, isn't it? Isn't it? Is it not?
Well, so what? There's lots of people born in the same year as me. What do you go on? Do you go on Chinese?
I didn't bring it
up. Yeah, but if you go with astrology, what about the Chinese? No, I just said it wasn't his birthday. You said, is it his birthday today?
Yeah.
I said no.
Then you informed me.
So actually, you did bring it all up.
And then you informed me that you were born within 24 hours of each other.
Yeah, but it's no reflection on me.
Not the same either.
All right, Raf, it's not something I believe in. And there's two schools of astrological thought. The other one, the Chinese one, it's all determined by the year you're born in.
Okay. Oh.
And he was born many, many, many years before me. So, you know, which one has the greater weight?
So which one do you go with? Which one do you prefer?
Neither. As previously stated, There is no empirical data to support any veracity in any form of astrology.
OMG. OMG. You brought it up though, John. So I don't know. Maybe there's a little part of you. Maybe there's a little part of you that, you know, may subscribe to some of those theories. I don't know, John. I don't know. I'm not saying that. I'm just, you know, we're just leaving that out there. We're just leaving that out there. Okay.
You're trying to win this debate by foul means as opposed to fair.
Are we having a debate? Are we having a debate? Are we?
You're suggesting
Yeah.
that I think what I think about Joe Louis based on astrology, whereas I think it based on hard, cold facts. Most heavyweight title defenses in history.
Yeah.
And longest heavyweight title reign.
Yeah. But that don't mean to say that Joe Louis would win if he got in the ring with Muhammad
That's
Ali.
a different debate for a different day. Set the date and we'll have it.
Make the date, mate. Well, you know, I don't know. We're going to have to make a date because John is very insistent. John has been very insistent that he wants the debate. You know, I guess as the reigning champ, I have to consider his his request. Well, you know, I got mandatories, John. I got mandatories, John. I gotta get through my mandatories, John.
Oh, mandatory excuses, bro.
We have
I don't think you're doing yourself any favors with that type of talk, Rafi.
Well, you know, John, what I do is I like to set it up, like to put a little bit of misdirection in there and then come back. Boom.
I hope so.
So I know
I hope so.
I know exactly what tactics I'm using, John. I know exactly what tactics.
It's fine because I'll just stick with facts. Those will be my tactics.
Well, you know, sometimes facts aren't enough. I'll stick with the facts as well, but sometimes facts aren't enough. You need a little bit of, you know, you need a little bit of that salsa sauce on it.
Well, yeah, but if you can add salsa sauce, we can start talking about phantom punches and stuff.
Well,
but we're not going to do that, are we?
Phantom. Well, I never mentioned the phantom punch. I think
I'm just adding a bit of salsa, Rafa. So.
Well, if the salsa wins you the debate, my friend, then, you know, crack on, walking. OMG. Okay, what did I see there? Yeah, what did I see there? Okay. Where are we? Do it at the time where I can join the debate, please. Yeah, for about an hour. Oh dear, but it's all good. It's all good. It's all good. Debate. And that's what we do over here at Raphael Dawkins Combat Radio. Chase Athletics up in the building. Good show, guys. Enjoying it 100%. But you know, we got the Rick Glazer in the house later on. But I just had to come on earlier because I wanted to chop some shizzle up before that. And so John Dealey was gracious enough to oblige. So we got the back and forth going. Remember, if you enjoy the content, hit that like button. If you are not subscribed but enjoy the content, hit that subscribe button. If you're not following me on social, Twitter, but would like to do so, social media, if you would like to do so, you can follow me on Twitter and you can hit that Facebook button. And of course, share. Very important to share. But now we're at Exhibit D. We've overrun a little bit, but it's all good. It's all good. So that was A, that was B. Where is Exhibit? Oh, I got a very nice. I think this is the last exhibit. It is the last exhibit. So let's go ahead and share Exhibit. Or is it D? I think it's D. Okay, let me line this thing up. Am I going to show the thing itself? I think I am not going to share the thing itself. I'm not going to share the thing itself at all. But I will share. Ease up. I will share the audio of Bomac This is courtesy of the Boxing Voice who interviewed him the other day. I was talking to him the other day, and so I'm going to share the audio with you.
It got to have meaning to these fights and shit. Keith Thurman don't got no damn belt. Do he? No, he ain't even ranked to the top 5 in the welterweight. Terrence won't. He want to clear the division out. And who got the 2 belts left? Pacquiao and Errol Spence. And those are the 2 fights that Terrence wants. It's real simple. Why would I waste my time or even sit down and say, man, we used to fight that motherfucker. Fuck all that shit. Look, going to camp for 2.5 months and shit, and then go all through all of that, all finding sparring partners. I'd rather waste my time. I'd rather waste my time. But be quiet. I'm on the phone. I'd rather waste my time doing that looking for some sparring for Pacquiao or Earl Spence than try to do it for Keith Thurman. It won't mean anything if Terrence did beat that dude. What is it going to say? What is it going to say? Nothing. Oh, Terrence beat Keith Thurman. He should have beat him anyway because, Keith's arm is hurting or his hands is always hurting. Come on.
OMG. So that was Bomac, the trainer. The trainer of Terrence Crawford, saying, "What the hell are you talking about, Thurman? How are we gonna waste a training camp for him when he's always pulling out? When his hands hurting, his arms hurting. I'm sure he's had a bunch of other things where I was in the background there doing stuff in the background." John D. Lee, what do you make of that? What do you make of Bomac's words?
Like my position on part-time is he needs to go and beat somebody before he needs to worry about fighting for a title. So if Bomac doesn't want to do a training camp for Keith Thurman, that's fine. If Bomac thinks that if they did do a training camp for Crawford would pull out, it's not the strangest thing in the world to believe.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's a very fragile man. Is our Keith. He's not the most robust, is he? If he's not injured, he's fat as F.
Yeah.
So, he's like the South Florida Ricky Hatton.
Ricky Fatton, as we know it affectionately over here, but maybe I don't know if they know Thurman as affectionately as we know Ricky Fatton. I think the Bomac Crawford's trainer makes some good points. He's another one who didn't fight Crawford when he had a bit. I don't know. He's out for 2 years, I suppose.
He made my points for me. He said that what if I Spence and Pacquiao? The trouble with that whole argument is you sign to Top Rank, and I don't think it's going to happen.
And I think that wraps it up. That brings us to the conclusion. And I think it's time for final words. We gone past the 1.5 hour marks, but it was entertaining chats when I do the replay, as you people may know, and some may not know. Right about now, YouTube are playing with me. They're keeping my lives hidden. So unless you are a subscriber and you get the link, you get the notification, other people can't see it. YouTube were playing with me. I think it was a time of around the time of the social unrest over there in America. Not to say it stopped, but I think when I did some videos on that topic, I don't know, it must have touched a nerve with somebody. Or some algorithm or other, because since then YouTube have been keeping my lives hidden for 12 hours after they've been broadcast, when the normal time delay is maybe an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours was terrible before. 3 hours was absolutely hideous. What's going on? Now they're keeping them back for 12 hours. So what I'm doing is I'm doing the replay series. So once I do a live about an hour later, boom. 1 hour later, you'll get the replay series out. I have to trim it up and edit it up, or else they'll say it's just a copy and they'll drop the original and have that. So I have to chop it up and I have to edit bits out, so it's not a direct copy. So it's a replay series, which is not a direct copy of this, but it is of the trunk of the discussion. And those are available 1 hour or so after the live goes. The live has been broadcast. And that is until YouTube stop whatever it is they're doing, take me off whatever list they got me on. That means I can't, my stuff don't go. My stuff isn't published for 12 hours. My live shows aren't published for 12 hours. So look for the replay series. I don't think that applies to anybody in here because you're watching it already. But that applies to people who are not subscribers, did not get the notification. And then that is why I have instituted the replay series. So when you see the replay, or if you watch this and then you listen to the replay, no, it's not going to be exactly the same. It needs to be edited, or else it goes down as a copy and then one of them gets deleted. So that's just an explanation of why portions of this not related to Terrence Crawford will be MIA on the replay, but it's all here on this one. Okay, so that's just an explanation of that. But that brings us neatly to the end and to the pertinent question, which we will deal with in summary. And the question is Terrence Crawford a duck? John D. Lee. In closing.
He's not ducking Keith Thurman. I don't really think he's ducking Sean Porter. However, he does need to leave top rank, as far as I can tell.
He needs to leave top rank.
Yeah, because Hal's going to freeze over before he fights any of the other welterweight champions on ESPN. I hope I'm wrong. It would be great if Manny actually is a free agent and decided to fight Terrence, but I don't see that happening. I think we've got more like to see Mikey Garcia fight Manny. To be really honest, I can see that happening. Which, I mean, that's a terrible fight.
Which fight are we talking about?
Mikey Garcia versus Manny Pacquiao.
Garcia, yeah, I don't think anybody will be clamoring for that one.
No, I think you'd be surprised that might happen. Mikey's got a lot of Mexican fans.
Yeah, that makes sense. That does make sense.
It's a money fight for Manny, and Mikey's just about business anyway. I don't think Mikey cares about legacy.
No, it's all about the business. It's all about the bottom line. It's all about the bottom line.
I've actually, I'm not necessarily in favour of this sort of thing all the time, but in these circumstances, I think Terrence needs to give Uncle Al a call and see if he can pay Bob off. Because otherwise, we're just not going to get anywhere with it. If he does do that, though, what he must do is, as part of the contract, have Spence in there as a minimum.
Have Spence in there, so it's a guaranteed fight. It's guaranteed. It's contractually guaranteed, and that's the only way that Terrence Crawford is going to be able to fight.
Because otherwise, his legacy is going to be permanently damaged because he ain't fighting anybody. It's not even that he's not fighting the other champions. He's got no opposition.
He's got no opposition. He's going to have to think about seriously.
All the welterweight names are on the PBC. It isn't just the other champion.
He's got no opposition. He's going to have to seriously think about crossing the road over to Al Heyman. He's going to have to give Al Heyman a call if he wants to get some of these fights, and it's got to be written. It's got to be contractual. It's got to be certain names in the contract, and you're gonna have to get a real good lawyer, attorney to look over that contract to make sure it is airtight. Otherwise, Terrence Crawford will always be on the outside looking in. And I think that's it, John. I think that's it. That's it. Until I got some time now to do a couple of things, prep for the Rick Glazer show, and then we're live again at 9 p.m. UK time, 4 p.m. on the East Coast and 1 on the West. And I think that's it, John. That's it, mate. That's it.
Bro.
Thanks for jumping in. Thanks for jumping on. We had some entertaining chat with John Dealey, Dame, and DJ Georgie Porgy comes over and reminds everybody to smash that like button, smash that subscribe button, smash that share button, smash all of the good buttons. And like I said, we're back again at 9 p.m. UK time. So don't miss it. Don't miss it. I hope you've enjoyed this one. Feel free to share it. And yeah, it has been the Raphael Dawkins with the Combat Radio. And it's the like, it's the subscribe, it's the comments, it's the shares. And it is the hitting that bell icon to stay updated with news and notifications. Until tonight, we are out.